It's so much harder for a woman to get in shape than it is for a man, especially if you're a woman over 40. There's, hormone imbalances, you've got weight gain from kids, just all kinds of things depending on if you're perimenopausal or whatever your situation is. So if you're trying to get healthy and really get yourself in a healthy state, instead of trying to tackle your home and your body at the same time, split it up into two categories. I always say start with the home. The home is a reflection of what's inside. If you're feeling anxious when you're home and you're spending a lot of time at home, then that is then internally triggering all of those stress hormones, cortisol levels, hormone imbalances, probably unhealthy eating. You want to have an environment that gives life. It makes you feel like you're alive and you're vital, and you're not like, just wasting away and laying around and lazy and all of these things. Your environment plays such a big role in your health and your weight. So getting that in order is key. If you are triggered by tons of clutter, dirty, dark, dingy, then you might want to consider moving. If your place is just dark and small and dingy and dirty, sometimes you have to make a move. You can start by decluttering, you can start by simplifying and really trying to bring in that sunlight, maybe bring in some greenery, some fresh flowers or something. But what I notice is a lot of women who have houses that are brown, everything's heavy, everything's kind of clunky, there's a lot of knickknacks, a lot of stuff. 90% of the time, the owners of that home themselves are heavy or overweight. They're not vital. They're the lay around coffee drinkers, watching, binge watching Netflix. And this isn't a judgment, this is just an observation that it all kind of goes together, where the obese house, the person happens to be overweight themselves. And that was true for me as well. The more stuff I had, I felt like the bigger I was. And so when you start minimizing and purging and letting go, it's such a act of freedom. You are freeing yourself from this type of bondage, that then you can get some clarity to start that next phase. The next phase would be getting your hormones and your minerals and your body really aligned so you feel good. When you feel good, you look good, and you produce more, you're happier, your family's happier, like everything in life just is better. And you'll look back and think, man, that it really was, I was accepting all of these things that were just weighing me down, and I thought I loved it all, and actually it was the things that you thought you loved were the things that were actually kind of destroying you, So I would highly urge you, if this is you, if you are feeling this way, if you don't know where to begin and you are so overwhelmed, start in the home. Start with what you can do and take the time that you need to say, I just have to get this stuff under control. I need to cut the distractions, cut the nonsense, get rid of the ridiculous spending on the Shein and the Temus and the things that people tell you have to have, the kitchen gadgets and all of this clunky, junky stuff that you think is going to change your life because you're filling your house with it all. It's not going to change your life. It's not going to change how you feel. You'll be happy for the moment that you unbox it, and that's it. And then it'll be a cycle that you just keep going back into and back into and back into. You need perspective. And sometimes you have to shake up your whole life and say, you know what? I have to start over. I have to start fresh. I need something new. I want to reinvent myself. And for women, we spend so much of our life taking care of kids, taking care of the house, taking care of family, kids in school. It's like by the time you get to your 40s, you don't know who you are anymore. You feel like you've lost this whole person of yourself, and you're like, now what? Now I'm tired, and I'm this and I'm that, and you don't feel your best. I'm telling you, there's still life in you. You can transform your life. You can, if you took 90-day increments and said, in the next 90 days, I'm gonna just plow through this like a gazelle. Dave Ramsey would say, you got to be a gazelle. You're just going to plow through this area of your life. And then the next 90 days, and if that 90 days ends up taking 6 months, so be it. And then the next 90 days, you're like, I'm just going to plow through this area of my life. Whether it be getting my minerals tested, getting my hormones tested, the blood work, cleaning up your eating habits, getting some active, walking, and really hydration and nutrition. Let's say that 3 months takes 6 months, so it's a full year. Boom, boom. 2 sections, 2 things that you're really tackling. It's still better than doing the same thing that you've been doing over and over and over. So give yourself, start in the home. Start with going through, what don't I love? What is not serving me? What's not feeling, helping me produce good fruit? What's wasting my time? TV, wasting your time, organizing junk that you don't need, wasting your time. You're opening your bathroom drawers and it's just full of a bunch of stuff and you're so overwhelmed and it's half used makeup and it's all this junk. You're gonna have to start the process of elimination and throwing junk out. Start with throwing out what you don't love, then donating what you don't really care about, and then put aside the things that maybe you can donate to a facility or something that's not goodwill, something where it'll really make a big difference. Maybe a nonprofit thrift store of some sort, or a shelter, an orphanage, or something like that. And maybe you can sell some stuff on Facebook Marketplace. If you don't want to deal with the selling part of it, but you feel like you want to get something out of it, find somebody to bless, a family. There's a lot of families in need right now who could really use some good quality things. You're going to feel so much better the quicker you get this movement going. And the reason why starting in the home is because it helps build up some momentum and it's putting you back in control. So you're feeling like you are making a difference. You're back in control. You are, you're turning a big ship around. You have to think of it like if you are a big ship's going in one direction for so many years, and now you're trying to turn it around. It's going to take time. And as you're turning it around, that process is messy because you're going through stuff and you're purging and you're getting rid of. It's a messy in between. That's okay. Be prepared for the mess before it's like the chaos and the storm before it's all cleared up. Be prepared for that. There's going to be emotions and all kinds of things involved in that middle part until you start becoming this person that you really want to be. The middle is messy. It's just a messy part. And if you have a spouse who doesn't want to get rid of stuff and they hoard stuff, that's going to be even more difficult. But do what you can do, and maybe eventually they will start feeling better and they'll get on board. Don't take the time to argue with them about getting rid of their stuff. Do what you can do, and then hopefully they'll see that you're changing and they will want that too. Sometimes you have to demonstrate with your own life, and then the other person gets on board. And it takes a long time sometimes for them. It took my husband like a year to finally get on board and say, okay, let's just get rid of it all, and I'm happy with this. And I was already there, and then I'm like, yes, finally. But it was a struggle in between. You're turning that big ship around, and you're trying to change your default person to be somebody who is going to win, somebody who's going to produce, somebody who's not going to tolerate lower things, somebody who's going to really get things done. This focused, this person who's not passive, but they're aggressively going after their future. So when you start in the home and you don't let that stuff control you anymore, and you're like, so what, you bought a bag that was $1,000 and you got a bunch of them and you don't know what to do, go find a consignment store and drop all that stuff off. Get it out of the home. You're going to feel so much better. And then once you start getting that stuff out of control and you're under control and you're like, oh, I can finally breathe and I feel better and I just feel lighter, then you start bringing into, okay, let's handle this, because you're probably going to have inflammation. You probably have a lot of things that need to be handled internally. And some of the things that I changed that helped me drastically is I started eating protein all the time, animal meat. It changed my skin. It's like Botox. If you're not eating steak and chicken, it's literally Botox for you. I got my minerals tested. I got my hormones tested. I went on HRT. My estrogen was high and my testosterone was negative. And I did a 4-month program with that. I loved it. I felt my best. It really boosted me. After that, I hired a personal trainer and I was like, let's just do this. Let's get ripped. And I did the personal training for about a year. I loved it, on and off a little bit because it can get expensive when you have a trainer, but you just take those steps and then you work on maintaining it, and you're going to feel so much better. You will know if you start falling back because you're going to start sensing it and feeling like, oh, I really don't like this. You'll start really loving this new person that you're becoming, and that's going to give you the momentum to keep going because you're going to say, man, I feel better now than I did. I mean, I felt 20 years younger when I started making these changes. I could not believe how full of vitality and what a drive I had. I mean, my libido was through the roof. I felt good. I was energetic. I was sleeping good. I was full of joy. I was like, man, I feel so good. It was like a car running perfectly instead of this old beat up clunker, and I will never go back to that. And so you have to, and it's harder for a woman, because you always have women's bodies are so different than men. It's like men can get in shape and stay in shape. Women, you got to keep working at it and keep adjusting and keep going. And then we go through so many emotional things that sometimes we fall off the wagon and we're like, oh no, I did this, I did that. Just keep going. Don't be so hard on yourself. Keep going, find a community, and demand that you're going to be this better person. You're not going to waste any more time being this lower version of yourself. You know, like, get after it. You got this. If you are alive and you got breath in your lungs, there is a race for you to run. God's got a purpose, and he needs you to be in good health, mental and physical. You have to be in good health to weather everything that's going on, and all of this stuff that's happening. You got to feel good. So do what needs to be done, and just keep on moving in that direction.